I'm J.P. McDermott for West Coast Ramble, and this is my top 5 Buddy Holly cover tunes, and one dishonorable mention. The first one on the list is Heartbeat by The Knack, one of the great covers of anything ever made.
This next song we're going to do, we didn't write. It was written by a couple of good old boys from Texas. This Buddy Holly song is called Heartbeat.
1979, if you were riding around in the car listening to the FM radio, you would hear this thing blast out, and it's just really in the spirit of Buddy Holly. It's just a great rock and roll tune by a great rock and roll band. By the same token, about 1978, I'm Gonna Love You Too by Blondie. Now this shows the durability and malleability of Buddy Holly songs. A great Buddy Holly song can be done in a variety of styles, and they take it full new wave. It is sort of the definition of a new wave song. I'm Gonna Love You Too by Blondie. It's a great one. Words of Love by the Beatles at number 3. You've probably heard the version that came out on their record in 1964. So in 1963, they recorded it live at the BBC, and it is astonishing. It's very close to the Buddy Holly version. The guys are singing live in perfect harmony.
Hold me close and tell me how you feel.
It's a beautiful arrangement. Check it out. The Beatles singing Words of Love at the BBC. Number 4 on the list is one you probably have never heard of, Carolyn Hester singing Lonesome Tears. Carolyn Hester was the queen of the folk scene around 1960-61 in Greenwich Village in New York. She was a great friend of Buddy Holly's. Buddy had worked with her at Norman Petty's studios back in Clovis, and they had hung out together in New York in 1958-59 when Buddy was living there and checking out the folk scene. Carolyn learned the song directly from Buddy and does a beautiful version of it.
Lonesome tears, sad and blue, I cried lonesome tears for you.
I was fortunate enough to be on a show with Carolyn Hester a few years ago, and she was in her 80s at the time and just sang this song so beautifully it brings tears to your eyes. So let's look up Carolyn Hester, which reminds me there is a playlist that I've linked in the description here so you can hear all of these songs. Number 5, in no particular order on this list, is Marshall Crenshaw, Rayvon. He does it live at a radio station, just a solo guitar, just him playing electric with a little reverb.
Well, little things you say and do make me want to be with you. Rayvon, it's a crazy feeling.
I first heard this probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, coming home in a certain state from a club, had the radio on while I was falling asleep, and it just transported me. I understood how the song worked for the first time. Rayvon had always been a mystery to me. I couldn't play it, but after I heard this, I got it. And Marshall Crenshaw gets it. So it's just a fantastic version.
I love you, well, Rayvon.
So those are my top 5 covers. And I want to have one dishonorable mention on this list, and that is probably the most famous Buddy Holly cover of all, and that is the Rolling Stones playing Not Fade Away.
I want to tell you how it's going to be. You're going to give your love to me.
I have lots of problems with this record. First of all, it's barely a Buddy Holly cover. They have the words and things, but what they've done is taken Bo Diddley and slapped Not Fade Away on top of it. Not Fade Away is not really the Bo Diddley beat. It's influenced by it, but it's a beat all its own. So the Rolling Stones are kind of responsible for people misunderstanding Buddy Holly songs for years after that. I mean, it's undeniably an energetic cover, and if you see a live version of it with Mick prancing around with the maracas and stuff like that, you get why people liked it, but as a deep and caring Buddy Holly fan, I just can't like that song. So that's my top 5 and one dishonorable mention. I'm J.P. McDermott, and this is West Coast Ramble. Thanks very much for tuning in, and be sure and like and subscribe for more top 5s.